Well, Got to Move Pro Wrestling ended up in a big pile of pain with the rivalry between both Chris Brooks and Lulu Pinsel. The NWA Power has finally set up who will be the number one contender for Nick Aldis, the NWA World Heavyweight title, but also did Thunder Rosa was able to beat Camille, or Camille finally got what she wants, where Thunder Rosa will never work for any promotion ever again. AEW Dark, well, it was really good, but however, NXT had one of the most amazing show where we have part two between Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. Did Finn Balor overcame to regain and become three-time NXT champion? Well, we're going to review, discuss, and talk about it on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up. 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 Get up, get up.
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I'm your host, Jay, right here. But before we begin, I want to give you guys two announcements as a friendly reminder, but also things that just came around. The first news, for those who are AEW Dynamite fans, keep in mind there is no AEW this coming Wednesday. It will be on this Friday. It's only temporary due to the fact of the NBA playoffs. So set your clocks right. And also, this one just came in from the Wrestling Observer. It was announced that New Japan star and the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion El Desperado has tested positive for the coronavirus. So it's still unclear when he'll be back, but we can't wait to see him back in the ring. So right now, let's start with Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling. Okay, so we have Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling with their latest ChocoPro show. This one is a one match only between two different groups. One side we have Chris Brooks teaming up with Yuna Mizumori and Asuka, better known as Veni, against Pencil Armies Lulu Pencil, Emi Sakura, and Minoru Fujita. Now, this rivalry between Chris Brooks and Lulu Pencil has finally reached a boiling point. The match went a lot of extensive time. It appears Chris Brooks' hatred took it to new heights. His main motivation was to hurt Lulu more, but however, he looks at Choco Pro as a joke or something like that. But it was pretty interesting, and much of the match you can guess it went outside. There was a lot of mayhem, a lot of things. Even Pencil Army tried every ounce of energy to put Chris Brooks down, but however, it wasn't. But the best part happened is where I saw Balianaki. He was in support of Lulu Pencil, but however, there was a moment where Chris Brooks had her submitted and she was forced to tap. And of course, Balianaki was telling her, tap, it's okay to tap. But I think Lulu felt ashamed that she had to tap. She didn't want to give up, but of course, the best part, the ending of the show was the best part because nobody knows what to think anymore. What happened is Chris Brooks left, so did Yuna, so did Asuka. They normally do this thing every time their matches ends, but I don't actually put it in the reviews. They have this thing called the Jukenmen match, which is like rock, paper, scissors every competition, but whoever wins, they get a piece of chocolate in the end as a winner. There was no, how do I say, reasons or point to have that because of what just transpired. So basically, Lulu is in disarray, cannot believe she lost, but Chris Brooks continue to prove a point that ChocoPro is a joke. But we'll see what happens. We do know the next ChocoPro event will take place possibly this Thursday. Don't know if Lulu will be involved, but we'll see when it happens. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's move forward with NWA Power. Okay, so this is a great episode of NWA Power. This was the last they're gonna have before the upcoming pay-per-view in June 6th for When the Shadows Fall. It started out with the Pope decided to do commentary alongside with Joe Galli and Velvet Sky. So basically, he's been doing that the entire time. But however, there was an interview conducted by Kyle Davis interviewing both Aaron Stevens and Kratos. Now, there is no secrets, there's problems between both Aaron Stevens and Kratos. Now, Aaron Stevens admit, okay, yes, I hired him, I paid him, he's a mercenary. We may not see the same things, but it is what it is. So they set up themselves for a championship match against the number one contenders, War Kings. Now that match was unbelievably good. But however, the match ended in a very mysterious way. Some mysterious masked figure showed up and punched Crimson, decked Crimson to lose the tag team titles. Stevens and Kratos remain as champions. But I have a feeling I know who that is. I'm going to say this, spoil alert. It's Slice Boogie. Now you probably ask me, why do I think it's Slice Boogie? Slice Boogie is the kind of guy who's trying to set up a point. He thinks that he is the future. The old guys, they need to go. It's time for the younger generation. But look, you got to keep in mind, NWA is one of the oldest promotions in all the history of pro wrestling. As a fan, I know everything they do is all about honor and tradition. Slice Boogie, he's all about trying to prove that he is a well respected wrestler, that he deserves to be high praised. That's how he sees it. But I don't know if when the exposure will happen, but my money is on Slice Boogie. Now the next interview comes from, again with Kyle Davis, Nick Aldis. Once again, Nick Aldis is running his mouth about conspiracy theories. It's funny. 2 years ago, James Storm was talking about conspiracies, and now there's him. He's accusing Davis from speaking this dumb nonsense that he thinks that people are talking about. Same thing with Joe Galli, but they're doing their job. They're trying to find out the answers, and they think finding the answers leading to conspiracies. But however, Davis got himself a list of the 14 wrestlers involved in the battle royale for the number one contendership for the NWA World Heavyweight title. And amongst those names is the one person he did not, or should I say the least person he expected to be in, and that's Trevor Murdoch. So he's pissed, and basically it was more like, how do I say this? Don't shoot the messenger, it's the list. And he's taking it out on Joe Galli, even during his exhibition match against Matthew Nims. So he's like arguing with him about the whole thing. So basically, he does not like the fact that this is happening, where now this conspiracy's against him. But it is what it is. But however, I can tell you that Nick Aldis won, even though he's frustrated at the fact that Trevor Murdoch's involved. Now, the next match is the number one contendership for the NWA Women's Champion. Oh my God, this match was the best one. Basically, if you guys followed the story in this one, Camille became the number one contender against Thunder for the NWA Women's Championship against Serena Deeb. So it was basically, okay, she won, no big deal. But something happened. A week later, Thunder Rosa set herself to a women's tag team match. She teamed up with Alex Gracia, while on the opposite side is Genocide and Sky Blue. But Camille attacked Thunder Rosa. So basically, it's still unclear. Like, for me, my original assumption was, okay, she's just jealous because Thunder Rosa is at the top of her game, that she is the best wrestler in the world. But that wasn't it. Camille confessed, saying that she doesn't like the fact that Thunder Rosa is out doing charity work, competing in other promotions like AEW or any other places or MMA. So she feels that this has to stop. You're disrespecting the NWA. I mean, who's disrespecting? So she set up a stipulation: if she loses, she has to stay in the NWA and she has to watch Camille win the title. But the match was great, even though they had to remove both Tyron and Melina due to wardrobe malfunction that they had kind of faded out, kind of like blur it so you guys don't see it, which is understandable. I'm like thinking they should have done something like this in other promotions. I mean, remember that wardrobe malfunction that happened with Eve Marie? Yeah, that kind of sucked. But it was a great match. But however, it ended with a time limit draw. Now, Thunder Rosa can say this, even if Camille says, "You still haven't won," but she says, "I was this close. I was this close." And she's right. Basically, the way it goes. She may not have won, but she was close. So Camille may have to reevaluate. But the real question is, what does this mean? My right now, my guess as a fan, the way I see it, there is a possibility we could have a triple threat match for the NWA Women's World Championship. Now, why do I think that? It's simple. You got Serena Deeb, who represents AEW. You got Camille, who represents Strictly Business in the NWA. Thunder Rosa, the best wrestler in the world. So this is going to be one of those matches that could happen. But right now, it's only a speculation out of my part. I don't know what you guys would think, but it is what it is. Now, the final match, the main event, is the 14-man battle royale. There was a lot of wrestlers, but however, Chris Adonis somehow weaseled his way into the match. Now, they did stated no current champion could be involved. That include Nick Aldis, the NWA World Tag Team Champions, the Pope, and every other. But somehow Chris Adonis got involved. Now, I can't do I think that he relinquished the title? I don't know. But the match was going great. However, I'm gonna go to the end, to the final four. It ended up with Trevor Murdoch, Tyrus, and the two Strictly Business members, Chris Adonis and Tom Lanner. But however, what happened? The Pope pulled out Tyrus and made sure he loses the competition. It gave them chance. But the best moment happened. Chris Adonis screwed up. He accidentally hit Tom Lanner, allowing himself to go have his foot land on the outside of the floor of the ring, and then he got himself in. Basically, he messed up, but but Nick Aldis, the last person he wants to face is gonna be him, and this was one of the biggest accomplishments for Nick Aldis' career. So basically, we are expecting to see this match happen when Shadows Fall. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. So right now, let's keep moving forward with AEW Dark. Okay, so AEW Dark had some great matches, even though not a lot of people pay attention to it, but I do. So the first match we had is Nick Comoroto taking on uh, Duke Davis, but you can guess right away that Nick Comoroto annihilated him quickly. But however, while the other factory members there, somehow QT Marshall was able to push. It turns out that Aaron Solo was scheduled to face against Davis's partner, I think his name is Galvin Jones, later on the day, but it turns out that they rather have the match now. And of course, Galvin Jones went right away. He put up a good fight, but however, you can guess that Aaron Solo won, and this is just more of a statement by the factory to make a mark, to prove what a scumbag Cody can be. That's how they've been planning, but we'll see what happens. But however, we do know that Anthony Ogogo will be facing Cody this coming Saturday or Sunday for Double or Nothing. Next match, we have Dylan McQueen taking on 10. I love 10. He's a powerful dude, and I can't even believe he actually put Dylan McQueen in the Nelson lock, making it's over, baby. That's how it rolls. So I always enjoyed watching 10 put his opponent in the full Nelson. Next match, Dark Order members Evil Uno and Colt Cabana once again teaming up, taking on Steven Andrews and Simon Lodo. What a great moment to see them, because it shows, normally I see Uno with Colt, but I think we're seeing a new dynamic of formations within the Dark Order. Like we've seen 10 with Uno and Stu, or things like that. So basically, they're trying things out. But it's great to see that experiment, and of course, you can guess that they won the match, all thanks to Colt Cabana. However, let's keep moving forward. We got the women's tag team match. We got Big Swole and Kylie King taking on Maddie Ronkowski and the Bunny. Now, this was an interesting match because Maddie Gronkowski has a hard time being in a tag team partner. And of course, Bunny, who is the only female in the Hardy family office, you probably ask yourselves, can they work together? Well, that was put to the test, but it did end it with Big Swole picking up the victory, and of course, that irritates the Bunny in every way possible. Next match, we got 2/3 of the Gun Club. As you know, Austin is out due to the injury he obtained by Anthony Ogogo. But this time, the fun and games is done. Billy had enough of Anthony Ogogo. He hurt his son and all this other things. But they really took a lot of the aggression against their opponents, Kai Hero and Liam Gray. But you can automatically guess that they won the match. But of course, there's no smiling in their faces due to the fact that Austin is not there. Now, the next match, women's match, we got Layla Hirsch taking on Vert Vixen. Man, Layla, I'm a big fan of her now. I mean, she may be short, but however, she does have a great set of fighting skill, old school style. Sometimes it works, for someone like her, but it works. And of course, that's why I like how she always ends her matches in the arm bars. Next match, Dante Martin versus Jason Hotch. Dante Martin is a really amazing wrestler. He is now showing himself more that he's a singles competitor, even though his brother Dante, Darius, is on an injury. What a great wrestler. I did enjoy this match. And of course, he actually won by applying the 450 splash on him. Next match, we got Diamante versus Reka Tehaka. As you know, I do like Diamante as a striker, the way she fights. She has a unique style, but you can guess you have two women that look like they come from the streets, but who had the better streets? And in this case, is Diamante, who actually had the better one. Next up, we got Joey Janela taking on Bronson Reed. I didn't know how this one was going to go with Bronson Reed because he's a big dude, and Joey Janela, he's just a smaller dude. But somehow Joey Janela overcame this. I was surprised, and I'm like, wow, great match. He was able to hold on against the bear. Next up, we got Angelico versus Ryzen. I can tell you could put him in that submission move that we normally see, and ended right there. The semifinal match is Tesha Price taking on the cheerleader of the Varsity Blondes, Julia Hart. And I'm going to tell you anyway about this match a little bit about. I was surprised that Julia Hart win. Now, you probably ask yourselves, why am I surprised? Because simple. It's already been told Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. are not signed, but they have done many great work. Now, would I like to see them signed? Yes. Because here's the thing. We can say Brian Pillman, he could be a good tag team specialist in the road to come. But one day we'd love to see him as a singles competitor. We don't know when that happened, but with Julia Hart winning, it could be a perfect dynamic group we could see in AEW more. So I would love to see all three of these people get signed. Next match, we have Sonny Kiss versus Brian Cage. Man, this match was awesome. Left and right, kicking out of the pins. You wouldn't guess, but however, you would have assumed that somehow David versus Goliath was going to be awesome, but it was. But however, Goliath won, and of course, after the match, Hook decided to continue to hurt Sonny Kiss to make a statement. But somebody, please, knock the kid out his lights for good. I mean, I miss what Sting did to him, put him in a body bag. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on with NXT. All right, so NXT was a very awesome show tonight. I enjoyed it. Opening match was the number one contendership for the NXT Women's Tag Team title. So we have Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart taking on Dakota Kai and the current NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez. Now, this is one of those matches where we see Raquel Gonzalez is trying to show that she and Dakota Kai run the women's division, because this was determined who would be the number one contender, and I'm assuming this would take place at NXT Takeover in Your House, which is coming back soon. I can't wait to see it. But the match was unbelievably good. I didn't expect that somehow. I would have assumed, okay, Raquel Gonzalez could be double champ, but no, not this time. I did like the idea that Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon will get another shot. But however, at the end of the match, Shotzi Blackheart couldn't take it. I mean, Raquel Gonzalez was pissed. She actually made Ember Moon watch how she annihilates Shotzi Blackheart and makes her drop and makes her force. But the real question remains, is Shotzi Blackheart will be 100% against the way? I don't know. Can't wait to see when it happens. Now, last week, Ciampa and Thatcher were in a number one contendership for the NXT tag team titles, but however, grizzled young veterans cost them that opportunity. But however, Ciampa and Thatcher realize this thing between them isn't over. So basically, they realize their mistake, so they have to go through everybody in order to get what they want. Do I know when that can happen? I don't know, but I'm excited to see this. Next up, we have Pete Dunne along with Oney Lorcan taking on Bobby Fish, who had unfinished business. The match kind of went in favor of Pete Dunne, as you know, he is the most badass person. You know, he'll break a finger and all that. As soon as the match was over in Pete Dunne's favor, Oney Lorcan decided that he needs to take him out. He even tries to injure him again. So I would have expected Kyle O'Reilly to show up, but no, it did not happen in that way. Now, as you know, not too long ago, Mercedes Martinez wanted to throw in one hell of a match against Raquel Gonzalez. So Mercedes still has her goal in mind to go to the top. So she knew she has to start from the bottom to get to Raquel. So she said that very clear to Raquel. But however, something odd happened. Right behind her was Boa. What is Boa doing? I mean, it's kind of interesting because Boa, along with Xia Li, are involved with that woman named Tian Shan, who's like some sort of mystic dragon or whatever. But no clue about that. However, we get a video package from Hit Row. As you know, they are now paying attention to what is going on in the rest in NXT. They're keeping an eye on the tag team titles, the North American, the Cruiserweight, all. But the real question, here's the thing. They haven't made no speculations what they want to do. I would see Ashante and Top Dollar could get the NXT tag team titles, but when did it happen? Fab, the girl, she should she should be getting her opportunity against to climb the top for the women's division, and Swerve will he can go for the North American title or the NXT title. It's still unclear. We just gotta watch and wait. Next up, we have Mercedes versus Sahara, whatever her last name was. I can tell you she won the match quickly, but however, this is the important part. The Mist showed up. Don't know what it meant. It looks like Tien Shin has something in mind. Because, if you guys recall last year, both Xia Li and Boa were marked. Don't know what it meant. But is it possible that they want to recruit her to join the ranks? It's possible. Can she withstand the brutal training as Xia Li and Boa? Don't know. But we'll see when that happens. Now, for weeks we've been seeing Cameron Grimes is being outdoed by the $1 Million Man. Now, $1 Million Man saw a lot of Cameron Grimes when he was young, but there was one thing that he was lacking in his focus, and he didn't get the chance to finish. And I think I know what it is. I think let's talk about this a little bit. What exactly I'm referring to about this? Let's face the facts. $1 Million Man has never once ever obtained any of the, how do I say, the top title, like the WWF World Title. Let me look it up real quick. I don't think he had any of that. I don't know. Let me look at the acolytes real quick because that's what I've been thinking the entire time. Here it is. Let's see. He was the 24/7 champion. Oh yeah, he has been the WWF World Heavyweight Champion unofficially. The WWF North American Heavyweight Champion. But I think that was the one that I think he wants. He's telling Cameron Grimes, you are losing focus. He's more worried about money. But however, he was interrupted by LA Knight. And of course, LA Knight sucker punched him. And of course, Ted DiBiase sided with LA Knight because he made fantastic points. Basically, he does not have money, but he can actually make the brand. Looking for the guy who can take his spot to prove that he's that guy. So basically, I think I know that's what Ted DiBiase. He wants someone to do what he was unable to do. He said he was the WWF World Champion, but however, he was unofficially. I'm assuming he took the title and made him that way. But we'll see what happens down the line. Now, Indy Hartwell, as you know, ever since she's been focused on becoming the one half of the NXT Women's Tag Team Title Champions, she found out that Candice LeRae actually bought some flowers and make it look like it was her. This is Candice LeRae trying to separate them, but of course, Dexter Lumis, his heart is broken. She saw photos of the drawing, so basically, Candice LeRae finally accomplished what she wanted. But does Indy Hartwell have a way to get him back? I don't know, because you got to ask Beth, because she's been doing this whole Cinderella story from day one. And trust me, that's what she's been doing when it comes to Dex Lumis and Indy Hartwell. Now we get to the biggest preview ever, the debut of Frankie Monette taking on the newly signed Cora Jade. As we knew her as an Elena Black. Good match, I have to say. Not the best, but it was a good match. Great way to showcase. Now, I can see her maybe in a short amount of time. She could actually make her way to the top to gain the NXT Women's Championship. Now, why would I do that? She believes now that she's there, she's going to shape it up. But Raquel Gonzalez would not take that likely. So we'll see what that happens, but it was a good match. It was a good match of a debut. I say that she could have gone with a better wrestler, but of course, this is how it works. But we'll see in the upcoming weeks what's going to happen, of course. And she won the match. I'm happy for it. Now, Grizzled young veterans, we know their main goal is to become the NXT Tag Team Champions. That's always been what they have been striving for months. However, he put the other, they put the other tag teams on notice. They are going to pay attention this coming week between MSK and Legado Fantasma for that title match, and of course they'll be watching their backs against Champa and Thatcher. So whoever will stand in their way. Now, as you know, we actually got a brand new NXT North American champion, Bronson Reed. Man, it was a great moment. But however, his party was crashed by Santos Escobar. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out why is he there. Come on. What does Bronson Reed has that now he has his eyes on? The North American Championship. The reason he throws in a little bit of the Mexican flavor, saying North America is the United States and Mexico. But I like this part where Joaquin Wild goes, what about Canada? It doesn't count. You know, if someone from the Hart family heard you, Santos, they will kick your butt. Trust me, it is North America. But however, he has his sights set on the North American title. Now, they're about to attack like pair of wolves, but however, Bronson had some backup that he did not expect that would show up. I'm talking about the NXT Tag Team Champions, MSK, and they were right there helping them, and that's how it works. So next week, we have MSK versus Legado Fantasmas, Joaquin Wild, and Raul Mendoza. Now, the next thing we have is the biggest announcement by General Manager William Regal. It's been announced that next week there's going to be a triple threat match for the number one contendership for the NXT title, whoever comes out between both Finn Balor and Karrion Kross. So it's going to be Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and Kyle O'Reilly. This is huge. But whoever wins this match will face the NXT champion at NXT TakeOver in your house. I'm excited. Can't wait to see it. Now, the main event is the NXT Championship. Oh my God, it was so crazy. You can see Karrion Kross, how of a big of a guy who's like a monster. You know you can't put down. I mean, Balor did everything that he possible to beat him, and he swore that he was going to win the title, but in the end, it ended in his favor. Karrion Kross retained the title. But now we're going to see next week who will be the number one contender. Will it be the badass who's been making a statement, Pete Dunne, the Ways, Johnny Gargano, or the new attitude of Kyle O'Reilly as a singles competitor? We'll just wait and see next week. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, me reviewing Gatoh Move's ChocoPro, NWA Power, AEW Dark, and of course NXT. There's more to come. Also, just to keep you guys reminded, there will be no AEW Dynamite this coming Wednesday. But however, I am going to review certain wrestling events that I may missed. Now, I don't know which ones, but I'm considering maybe throwing an entire episode of the Yoshi promotions, such as Ice Ribbon, Tokyo Yoshi Pro, Stardom, World Wrestling, World Women Pro Wrestling Diana, and we'll see what else they throw in. But right now, for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.